Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. Another Premier League weekend has gone by, so another review for you this week. We'll start with West Ham, as I've done every time really, who got a 3-1 win at home to Man United, which, not to oversell it even, but this is probably the best performance I've seen at the London Stadium since we've moved there. West Ham were fantastic in this game from front to back. Fabianski pulled off a really good save against Fellaini when I believe it was still 1-0, 2-0 at the time, which really kind of kept us in the game because that was a lot earlier. So if Man United would have scored, then could have given a bit more sort of incentive to kind of go forward. Defensively, even Mourinho himself pointing out Diop, who played really well. He's easily his best game for us so far. He won every duel. He kind of marked Lukaku out of the game. There was one incident when Lukaku got in front of him and headed it against the post, which is a little bit of luck you need sometimes to beat the slightly bigger sides. Other than that, though, he was a rock with Balbuena as well. The pair of them really kind of were solid and didn't let too much past them. Fullback Zabaleta again showing that age is just a number for him. He's 33 now, but he was bombing up and down the wing constantly. Where Man United were playing like a back five, it kind of left their two wing backs quite exposed, so he was able to get forward a little bit more and work well with Yarmolenko down that right hand side to expose Young, because he was obviously trying to go forward. As well, Masuaku on the left had a good defensive game, which is kind of surprisingly for a left back that he's been playing. His defensive game isn't that great, but this one he did play really well, and him and Anderson had a good little partnership there. In the middle, Wright again showing the maturity well beyond his years. You'd think he'd been in that position for 10 years or so. No, he's looked really good. Obiang and Noble as well. Noble put some great passes together, set up Arnautovic for the third goal. Out wide, Anderson and Yarmolenko really coming into the Premier League now. Anderson, he's been showing little signs of improvement every game so far this season, but this is when he kind of really showed why he was worth 40 million. I'm not saying one goal will make up for that sort of price tag. He does need to show a lot more, but this is when we kind of say, okay, this is why we paid the money for him. Some of his touches, some of his skills are really good. Obviously, he's got the first goal, which was a really well worked move from Zabaleta and Yarmolenko on the right. A little bit 1-2. There was, I think Zabaleta just stopped the ball from going for throwing. Noble plays him in after Young had committed himself forward a little bit. Cross the box, a great little cheeky back flick finish from Anderson, made it 1-0 at the time. Well deserved from West Ham. They were in the ascendancy. They were the team that kind of started the brighter, were creating more chances, although nothing clear cut, but were having much better possession of the ball. And then from there, really, Man United started to come into the game a little bit. Like I said earlier, Lukaku hit the post with a header, which kind of was a bit of a little shock and a wake-up call. But West Ham really didn't let Man United settle. They were closing down really well. If they did lose the ball, they were winning it back. They were winning a lot of the sort of 50-50 duels in the middle of midfield, which was really good to see. And then they got the second just before half time. There was a little bit of luck involved. The corner come over. It wasn't really cleared by Man United. Yarmolenko had the time to kind of like shift on his left, shoot. I think it hit Lindelof, who was trying to come in to block him, hit him on the knee, loops over De Gea. 2-0. Again, it was a lucky goal, but it was a goal that was deserved, I think, at the time as well. And then in the second half, again, Man United put a little bit more pressure on West Ham, as they would do. Obviously, they're chasing the game a little bit. Pogba was terrible in this game. He was one of the worst I've seen him play, especially in person. He was just putting sloppy passes together. He was getting tackled a lot. You could tell he was getting frustrated, not only with his own performance, but I think with his players around him, because when he did get the ball and there was no one there to pass to. There was no one in an advanced position to kind of create something. It was more of another sideways pass to keep possession. They really struggled to kind of find that sort of attacking continuity that he probably gets when he plays for France, and when he played at Juventus as well. But they got the goal. Rashford come on, and then from the corner, it was another good little flick with the back of his heel, kind of run to the near post. Fabianski couldn't get quite then quick enough. You should have had someone on the line maybe that would have probably stopped that. But Man United got their goal, and it looked a bit sort of okay. But West Ham dealt with that sort of pressure after they scored, and they got the third. Again, this was terrible defending from United. Smalling and Lindelof were kind of really dragged apart. There was a good, 15-yard gap between the two of them, and Arnautovic just sitting in the middle of that. Noble plays a perfect through ball straight to him, onside, slots it past De Gea, 3-1. The game's over by this point. Man United didn't really then create anything after that. If anything, West Ham, I think, had a few chances. They could have made it 4-1. But well deserved. Like I said, the best performance I've seen at London Stadium so far. And no complaints, really. Obviously, from the United point of view, more trouble, more sort of rifts between sort of Mourinho and Pogba. You can see that the team aren't really there. There's no team continuity or spirit there. Pogba come off, and there was a big, obviously, sarcastic cheer from the West Ham fans. But yeah, there's a lot of trouble with that club, but luckily West Ham took advantage of that and got the 3-1 win, which they fully deserved. So elsewhere in the league, Chelsea and Liverpool played out a 1-1 draw. Second time they played each other in a week because they had the Carabao Cup game on Wednesday night. So this was a 1-1 draw. Again, I think this was a fair result. Hazard got the early goal for Chelsea, put them 1-0 up, and Sturridge scored, I think, in the 89th minute or 88th minute, quite late on. It was a great goal as well with his left foot. Bent it right into the far corner. Goalkeeper had no chance. They did have a few chances, Liverpool, to equalise before that. I think Shaqiri had a ball flash across the box. He really should have scored, but he didn't. And as well, Chelsea had their chances as well. There was another time that Hazard was 1-on-1 with the goalkeeper. Again, should have scored, but didn't. But I think this was a fair result. Two teams that, where Liverpool we kind of thought would do really well, but Chelsea have kind of done probably maybe better than what people have expected, considering the start of the season with their new manager and everything. But I think the draw was a fair result. Both teams remain unbeaten so far this season. It'd be interesting to see at what point one of them will falter, because I don't think either of them will go unbeaten. That was just an anomaly from Arsenal a few years ago. Arsenal picked up a 2-0 win as well against Watford. Pretty easy game for them. Welbeck scoring again. He's now got more goals than Ronaldo in Italy, who would have thought that at this time last season. Looking at the bottom, Huddersfield, Cardiff and Newcastle still tend to struggle as well. All three picking up losses again. All three without a win so far this season. I thought Cardiff and Huddersfield would struggle. I think they're going to continue to struggle. I said at the start, I think those two will probably go down this season. Newcastle, but is one I thought would do a bit better. They had a good foundation last year with Benitez, and he kind of let them finish mid-table with very much a decent championship side. He didn't even have a full Premier League quality, but this year I think the lack of investment is really starting to show, and the Newcastle fans are really starting to voice, well, they've been voicing their opinions for years, but they're really kind of behind Benitez. I don't hear too many kind of moans and groans about Benitez. It is all based on Mike Ashley, who has really kind of lacked investment. I think if you look at the last sort of 3 transfer winners, every Premier League team has broken their transfer record, bar Newcastle hasn't broken it since I think 2004, 2005 when they signed Michael Owen, and since then they've not really broken it. I'm not saying you have to break, but it just shows the lack of investment. There's money coming into the Premier League. Look at teams like Bournemouth are paying 20-25 million for players. West Ham play 40 million for a player this season, but Newcastle don't seem to do that. So where's the money going? The money's coming in. All these teams are spending these money, but Newcastle aren't doing it. And I think he's trying to do it on the cheapest budget to kind of get bigger profits. I know he wants to sell the club, Mike Ashley, but you do need to invest if you want to stay in the Premier League. He's going to lose more money from that team being in the Championship if he wants to sell it than he would do spending it on any player. So there needs to be something. January can't come fast enough probably for Newcastle now to try and get some investment, get some signings in, because they really need it. They're really struggling all over the park defensively. Going forward probably is their biggest weakness. They've got no real recognised out striker that could probably get them at least kind of 10-15 goals this season. That would probably help them stay up. So that's probably their biggest thing that they need. Where they're going to get that from, strikers aren't cheap, especially in January, because you're panic buying, really, especially for a team like Newcastle. They're going to have to pay through the nose for a decent striker. Will they? Who knows? I think this is one miracle Rafa can't pull out without some sort of major investment in the team. Anyway, that's it for this week. Thanks very much for watching. Like, share, subscribe, all the usual things. I'll see you next time. Bye.